Hey, good morning, traders. How are we doing today? I was going over my pre-market analysis. It's about 5:30 California here. We're getting ready to start our day. We checked the news, so we don't need to worry about funny stuff showing up. I think there was something. What was it we were looking at? Um, Thursday. So there's some stuff going on at 8:30. Stuff going on here. Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff, so we're good. It's safe. The water's safe. Get out and play. Hey, remember we're over at patreon.com/I love day trading for members. So I remember drawing this up and talking about how this is where price might hold, and it didn't. And as the morning unfolded, we had another you know kill zone hold, so it didn't break it. And again, yesterday my bias was even more. I was thinking, it's going to be down here. I had that um, hourly chart up, so I was thinking about, um, excuse me. I was thinking about how price may come down, and this is just me spending years looking at charts and um, being burned enough times to know that you want to kind of be in a safe spot. And so I'm hesitant sometimes to jump into trades just because I see something and I'm like, oh wow. I mean, I've been burned on that so many times. So I'm a crusty old pro, I guess. But look at what happened. Price just did a minor little pullback here, right into this guy. Look at that. It's about the same size. Um, and and then it's going up, and now we're at the pressure cooker on the top, and yeah, I was thinking this thing's going to break for this down here, somewhere in here, right? Create this shelf in here. There's a couple things somewhere in here, come across that pressure cooker like that. These are just ideas. You got to play with your chart, and to get a deeper understanding of what it is that's going on. um, I clearly was wrong. So that's, but I wasn't wrong. I was wrong in my opinion. I wasn't wrong in my trade. I wasn't, uh, you know, so whatever. I don't, I'm fine being wrong because I'm wrong most of the time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to be right most of the time. Um, so as price came out, like around 7 here, I was watching it based on this yesterday. This held, and then we made a new high. So then as it pulled back, look at it, it pulled right back into that line. Um, and someday I'm going to do a deep dive into this little top thing because I see it common enough. But right now we're focusing on one trade, one setup, I mean, um, so that we can get really clear on what it is that we're after. Can you see the setup in here? Can you see our setup? Right? Can you see the impulse? Remember, the impulse takes out something, right? It impulses. It builds a shelf, right? And it takes out the high. Now, uh, somebody might say, well, here's a wash here, and I would agree. And it hits here, and it goes there, and boom, comes off, right? Feel this, right? Let's just see how this loads up, takes him out, and then it just builds this thing here. Now, I'm not I'm not saying this is it. This is our setup right here, right? Here's our pressure cooker, right? It retests this. If you got long in there, I'd be so proud of you. You know, stop down here, price goes up there. One of the things that we haven't talked a lot about is money management. When do you move this on this move? Because right now you're in here, you're like, oh, it took off. Oh, this is great. Huh, gonna be a great day. And then it comes back, you're like, oh geez, that didn't feel good. Oh, it goes back up. Okay, I go it the right way. And then it starts going up. And so and this is how I think. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, move my entry or my stop. I'm gonna move it right behind here, or I'm gonna move it right in front because I don't want to pay the commissions. Those add up over time. But somewhere in here, I'm not gonna take this whole hit because the price is now moving my way. Um, some people will take it at 2 to 1. Some people will take it at their high. Uh, just to capture that, because they know that this is going to happen. So I just I usually when I see a move like this, I usually move to like break even. I'll hide behind a structure, and I'll take a small loss, and then as it unfolds, we're now here dealing with this guy. Now, why did I go from here to here? Because here, this is a reaction to this point here, right? So this comes up here, it pokes it out. It doesn't really, you know, and then it comes up here, and then there's also, this is such a small shelf. I don't want to chase it per se because it's just not big enough for me. Um, and then this makes a clear box, and we have a hard down here, right? And we have a punch back up, and then it jiggles a little bit, and then it takes off. So I would buy this 10 out of 10 times, 100%. This is perfect. Just give me another leg up, to get my spot. I don't know. So then, okay, let's just say you get stopped out. Now you're like, okay, geez, what am I going to do? This is kind of lame. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch, right? And then I'm going to watch the next impulse leg. This impulse leg. This isn't really a super sexy one. Or if you want to just sit back on this one and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to move this up here because it pulled back. Now you're in a different spot to say, okay, I've got another wash here. And it's a big one, right? That started at 6:15, 8:45. My line's at 8:45, and it ended at 9 something. So it's about 15 minutes of waiting time there. But it gives you the same characteristics. It gives you the same thing. Impulse, boom, shelf. It built a shelf. This isn't clean, but it's a shelf, right? You have buyers, 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 buyers. And it just washed it out again. And then it comes back and there's your entry. So now I was bummed and, kicking the dog here. I keep my head cool and I sit back and I wait. And I just want to see what's going to happen. Because usually when I have a stop, when I get stopped out, it's more of a clue than it is of like, oh geez, I didn't make money. It's not like I use it to help me get something out of what it is that I'm looking for. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But now if I sit back and say, okay, I'm going to take this stop, I'm going to have uh, uh, um, uh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. That is our kill zone from the bottom of the other swing there. So this falls in line with like maybe where am I thinking about getting out? Um, is it gonna give us more the same measured move? Am I gonna be able to get that, or am I gonna just say I'm gonna hide behind here and take a smaller trade? That's discretionary. That's up to you. That's your ability to read the market, your ability to stay in when you're making money. You're making money here, you're losing money here, right? You're losing money on this pullback here, and then you have to decide: am I going to hold on to this? Certainly I'm back again at break even, um, because I want to protect my profit, maybe a little bit more. But if you draw this up and you understand these zones, you're like, okay, this is just pulling back into this zone, and then it starts taking off. And granted, I realize there's a lot going on here. If you're new to this, there's so many pieces of this puzzle that you're like, wow, what is this? But there's a mini one right here too. I was just kind of playing. This is how you have to approach it with play. You got a little wash here, and then it tests and it comes back. They're just wrapped in there so tightly. You have to really clear it up and have um, a good, you know, uh, mindfulness of what it is you're after. We have the step one, impulse, takes it out. Step two, it builds a shelf. And this isn't a lot of shelf. I mean, this is a pretty small one, but it qualifies because it has the impulse, it has a shelf, it has the wash, it has the retest, and then it comes back to the shelf and then it takes off. So, there we go. Look out for another one. Boom, builds it up. And guys, this is what I do all day long. I'm not trying to sell you on some nonsense of Bollinger Bands or I don't even know what RCI. I mean, I have a friend that does all that stuff, and he's a scalper, but he's been doing it for so long. He can read a bar just beautifully, like just that bar is going to do this, and I'm in awe of his ability to do that. It's amazing. Um, and so and then I look at this here because conceptually it's still the same thing, right? And it's kind of a cheater way to look at this because if you're going to say I'm going to get in, I want to get down here, you're now running into okay, so boom, boom, right? Where's the shelf? Shelf is here. It doesn't when it hits up here, it doesn't come all the way down. And this is hindsight, I know, but this is something that I am trying to clarify. How do I describe this? Because the business here dropped them off hard. Somebody just sold a pile of contracts and they sold another pile of contracts and then they bought them back up and they're, here we are back in the pressure cooker of another swing, so they're all tied together and they just keep the same motion, right? We have an impulse up here. What's the impulse? Is breaking this here, right? It's within this swing, but it's breaking this here. And it's just how price moves. And then it comes up, comes down, and then it impulses again. This is, they talk about the Gartley, I think it was, something like that. And that was one of the first things. I never knew how to find it. But it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's all zoom retest. It's all ball bearings. Right? You see it? Impulse, shelf, right? There's some. This guy got beat. You say this guy got beat. It's a weak shelf. I'm not saying it's the greatest one, but you got a wash right here, right? You got a wash right here, and then you have a retest, and then you have boom. But if you're using this as your shelf, I'm gonna change the color just to. I don't know. I don't know if I like it because it's inside the whole thing, but the characteristics are there, and you can just keep moving your um, your your lines up to where does this stuff pop at, right? This thing came down here, and really, if you miss the and don't be afraid to start over. If you miss the impulse leg, and this is why this setup's cool, is because let's say you miss the impulse leg, right? And this guy is the pressure cooker from this swing. And remember, a swing is confirmed by a swing high, or a low is confirmed by a swing high, and a high is confirmed by a swing low. This is your part of your mapping, part of your understanding, and it calms your nerves. it calms you down because this is just, there's money on the line, there's ego on the line. I mean, I oftentimes get mad about losing money as opposed to like losing trades. I went on a 3-week losing streak one time. I was just pissed. It's like I don't even know if I'm doing this right. you know. Um, so there's a lot that goes into it, but I do this practice all the time so I can have a clarity and understanding of what it is I'm trading. And I'm no longer trading this whole massive beast. I see people, they'll be like, well, I want to do, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I can't, that's a different trade. You're trading a 15-minute chart, a 20-minute chart, a 60-minute chart. You're trading something different. We're day traders here. So we're in and out of the market within, you know, minutes, if not hours. I don't want to sit at the computer all day. That's not fun to me. I'm here for the freedom. I'm here for the financial um, opportunities. What I'm here for is not, what, well, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like, it's not a video game. You don't get points for playing. You get points for keeping yourself together. So, there's the wash. Here's the wash, right? So we have the impulse up, right? And there's no shelf here, right? And it's 1040. Let's say you're 1040. And then you say, okay, well, I've got part of this. I've got the impulse up. I've got this wash belt. It's going off here. Where's my stop? My stop's down here. Okay, that's the most important part. Like this is where you have to be very clear about it. Because if you can handle that stop, you're fine. Just say screw it. If it takes this out, then I was wrong. And just so you know, if it takes this out, it's probably going to land down here somewhere. And that's why some guys I know they'll go 2 swings back. They're like, Mike, they're not doing what we do. They're equity fund, hedge fund, big traders moving lots of money, millions of dollars. They have to be very, very, very protective and very aware of what it is they're doing. They're not just shooting to shoot. There's a lot of work that goes into what they do because they're handling other people's money, and so it's a different kind of trading, different kind of pressure. So my friends that do that, they have a different approach than I do, which isn't to say they're wrong, but it's they don't have as many trades as I do. I guess is what I'm saying. So then we have another impulse, right? And see how easy this just gets cluttered. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to blank it all out again, and then it's just another impulse up, pulls back into the kills or the pressure cooker, and then it's off. Do we have our setup? Right. So this is what I was getting back to before I went on my tangent. And I realized this is a very small shelf, but it is a shelf because you can tell that this got ripped. If you want to say that's a shelf, okay, well then you didn't get, you didn't get your full piece. And then it does it again, right? Impulse up. Where's the shelf? There's buyers, 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 buyers. This one doesn't really, this one just wipes out these little guys and it doesn't retest. So there's no retest on the backside. So what do? Well, you draw the next one. Say, okay, well, what's it going to do? Right? If you want to buy this, I don't teach this, but hide behind there. If you want to say, I want to get in so bad, and I've done it. I'm not saying that that's not something I've done, but just be aware that you're going to have to, either take a huge stop or just take a cash stop and be like, hey, I'm going to, throw however much out there that I want to do. And then this just rips off, and I don't even try to deal with this. I can't. There's no pullback that I see that makes me go, oh, okay. But then we have a nice impulse. We have a nice impulse up. Goes up. And then This washes out something. What's it washing? But look at this. There's a coil right there. It just jumps out at you, right? This is congestion. Sorting out some stuff. Shelf here, shelf here, shelf here. Does the shelf hold? What are we missing? Anybody tell me? We're we're missing follow through on a retest, and then this doesn't come down, so this doesn't qualify. And then price comes off, and we're in the late day, so I'm not even really looking at this stuff. But this is what you need to do, on a daily morning basis. It's about 5:45, and I do this stuff just so I get myself centered. I'm ready to trade. I'm ready to see the market how it needs to be seen. And so my setup is, burned into my skull, and that's how I see these little ones. If I'm back here, right, I don't see that. I'm looking at this swing. That's how I missed this one the other day. That's why I missed this little guy over here the other day. That was so easy, but I was so wound up in my my sales and my shorts. I didn't even see this thing. Where did it go? No, that's not it. Wasn't this here? 12 o'clock yesterday, boom. I mean, it was here. I forget where it went, but it was just, where was it at? Oh man, you just get confused. But if you're sitting back here, you're trading this. Where's the shelf? Right? You got a little thing here that pulled back into this, so you mark it out. You got your pressure cooker. You got a retest of the pressure cooker, right? Is he going to retest it again? Retest of the pressure cooker, overnight. Pow. And then it takes off again, right? What do you see here? It jumps at you. I see this coil, right? There was something happened here that maybe it returns and maybe it not. You have to be open to it. And then I just draw it up, But again, this is a bigger time frame. This isn't the time frame we're trading. We're in and out of this market on a pretty regular basis. Impulse up, right? When you're here, you can see this. There's a shelf. It pops down. It goes up. Boom. There's another one right there, right? It fits all the characteristics of what we look for. Impulse, right? Cup, pull, shelf. Boom. Here's the wash, right? And then it takes off. So that qualifies. Now we're in. Which one do you want? Just put your orders there. Put your stop right here. And that's granted, we're not trading right now, but tell me I'm wrong. Break it apart. So we got a new high coming in here, right? Just as I said, we want to get small. I just want to be aware of things. It's like driving to the grocery store. I know where I'm going, but I want to be aware of all the stoplights, the traffic. Is it school time? Is it kids going to be in traffic? Is it after work? It's just one of those things. Like I want to know, if I'm going to go do something, I need to know a couple things about it before I just don't jump in my car and start driving around. I got to have my wallet. I got to have my phone. I got to have all these things. Got to be focused. It's just get yourself centered. And then oftentimes, although I know that's there, I'm not really worried about it because I can't do anything about it. I can't trade that piece that's from over there. I don't look at, I'm not trading that piece over there. I'm trading this swing here, right? So this should be what your market looks like right now as we approach 6 o'clock. And I just did a 24-minute thing. And that's probably longer than you needed to know, but I was going over yesterday's stuff. So I can see something here, or I can see something down here. All right. We'll talk later.